remember coming into my house one night and my mother said to me, I said, I'm in her refrigerator, and she said, why are you in my refrigerator? You just came from a date with a guy. How your pussy wet and your stomach empty?
Oh. What up, YouTube? I am your host, Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews, back in here with one more video. All right, guys, listen, I reacted to a video not too long ago, all right, where there were these two ladies that were talking about how to extract money from men, okay? If you remember that video. One of them had orange hair. I went back on the 8 at the Table YouTube page, as well as their Instagram, and saw that she had some solo videos. So I want to hear from her mind, from her perspective. We got to go deep. We got to understand more, okay? We got to understand more information. And I think she's about to do a countdown. I don't know. I haven't seen the video. But let's get active, all right? Without further ado.
In the right moment, your mean ass is going to get good and your bills paid. You understand what I'm saying? Being the nice girl, you have to know when to be nice. So first thing, to get money out of a man, you got to know when to be nice and you got to know when to be nasty.
That's number one.
That's number one. Because you have to keep his attention span first. So you're trying to get money out of him. And there's levels, lady. Again, Alan hasn't done this tutorial, but here we are. There's levels. What type of money are you asking for? And that's going to determine how nice you need to be and how nasty you need to be. So if you're a girl who's just asking for nail money and bill money, you really don't have to be that nice. I'm going to get all that.
All right. Oh, God. I always get like a sinking pit in my stomach when I know I'm about to react to a video like this where it's, people trying to instruct other people how to be manipulative or how to engage in the dark arts in order to extract something nefariously from another person. You understand what I'm saying? So anyway, her first point, focusing in on when to be nice and when to not be nice, is essentially what she was trying to say. Now listen, I think that, I'm to try to pick apart what she's talking about. So let's leave her right there. All right. She's talking about extracting money or taking something from a man, right? Manipulating a man. And to talk about that real quick, yes, there is a degree of, if you are manipulative in nature, okay, you can extract money from people. You can make them feel bad about what it is that they're doing. You can throw up smoke screens and red herrings in order to extract money from it. Now, what she is saying is that depending upon if you want him to pay your bills, which I guess in her mind is a low level of a man giving you money versus something higher end. She didn't even go into details. Like you have to be nice in order to do that. So what she's saying is that the more high value the man, the more mean that you have to be. And it blows my mind. I consider myself a high value man. If I have an inkling, if there's an ounce of in my soul that your vibrations are anything centered in negativity, you know what true high value men do? That's what we do, and that's actual high value from those that have traveled across the world and understand that your personality is not the norm. It's not the norm. And shout out to all my New York cats. I'm from New York immediately, and you could tell by the way that she's talking, she's from New York. She's from East New York, without a doubt. You understand what I'm saying? But here's the thing. Here's the thing that I think like a lot of New York cats haven't come to terms with. And maybe it's a lot of dudes in general, but I grew up in New York, so I could talk about it. There's something about the way that men and women, young men and young women move in New York where it's cool for the dudes to be masculine, but it's also cool for the women to be masculine as well. And I think like young men are brainwashed into thinking that a masculine acting young woman is by somehow attractive. And that starts to show how the fabric of the relationships are breaking down, because you are convinced of something that doesn't benefit you, right? You are convinced of that. You understand what I'm saying? And it was in my mind too. And I probably have some earlier videos where I talked about that there's components of these personality traits that I was attracted to straight up. And I'm gonna keep it 100. And, you know, moving out all around the country and now coming and living in the Midwest and then seeing these much more docile feminine women, I'll keep it funky. At first, I was like, I need like that New York spunk. I need that New York, you know, that fire, that spiciness. You understand what I'm saying? And then it clicked. It occurred to me that I was brainwashed. You understand what I'm saying? Because of the media that I looked at, because of the culture that I grew up in, it was no fault of my own, you know, besides taking in and consuming as much as that entertainment as much as I had, but I was brainwashed. You understand? And I think the benefit of, you know, the internet, being able to talk about these things is to try to realign where your mind would be much more happier going into the future. It's not trying to be a king of your household and be in a relationship with a woman who's trying to be a king as well. That's not where you're going to be happy going into the future. You understand what I'm saying? But let's move on.
Talking shit, I'm gonna call her and talk mad shit about him, and then I'm gonna answer the phone. Hello? How you doing? What time I'm ready? No problem. Obedientness. That's number 2. Be obedient. And I know it sounds crazy, it sounds but this is, we're talking about you trying to get money out of a man. We're not, this is the topic, right? Okay, cool.
Men do like obedience.
Be obedient. Men like women who listen. It makes it easier for him to want to spend his money on you when you listen. In the same way that you want your child to get good grades, all you gotta do is get A's. And I'll buy you whatever you want. It's the same shit. Get all A's in his class. And you'll get whatever you want.
Before she goes into number 3, yeah, sure. Yeah, men like obedience. Yeah, I mean, you know, I can agree with you there. So, you know, but the obedience is also a degree of femininity. So, in knowing and judging from your personality, it's a faked obedience, right? It's a fake femininity. At least by what I'm seeing right here. You understand? I don't know you. I'm talking to you as if you were right here, sitting right next to me. I don't know you personally, but it's right. So so the reason why I bring that up is again. A high value dude that has gone on his life of being great at whatever he is doing to attain high value. Although he may not also be as adept, right? From a relationship perspective, there's key things that he learned over here that he can use to try to understand the value of it is in his life, right? You understand what I'm saying? If he's actually looking for an end result in the goal, or if he's just using his money to just fund trips in order to absorb your viscosity.
3, how to get money out of a man. I want to put sex in this,
What?
But ladies, I want to teach y'all something. You don't even got to give it up, and you can still get the bag out of him.
What?
That comes with playing 1, 2, and 3 at the same time.
What? Notice how she set that up. Hold up. Notice how she set that up. What she said was number 3, ladies, I don't want to bring sex into it. You understand? You understand what she did there? So she set up number 3 in a way to say, I don't want to bring it up, but you bringing it up. And then what she said, I don't want to bring it up, but I don't want to put sex into it, but you don't need it. Well, if you don't need it, then why are you bringing it up? I can tell you why you're bringing it up, because that's what you utilize. That's what you use. You exchange the viscosity for the opportunity to get the bag. You know what that's also known as? I'll have the viewers fill in the blank. Let's move on.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to be a multitasker. You gotta be a nice girl. You gotta know when to put him in his place. You gotta know how to spend his money. That's number 4. Men like...
Just real quick as well, notice how quickly she moved from number 3, because she brought it up, but she didn't want to go into detail. She didn't want to go into detail. She said, you can, I don't want to bring up sex. You don't need to have it, but you got to have 1, 2, and 3, even though 3 was the sex one. You understand what I'm saying? So you just got to do the first 2 things. So be obedient And what was the first thing that she said? Oh, like know when to be mean versus nice, and then you don't have to put out. And maybe that's true. Maybe it is. Okay, maybe it is. Maybe I'm just what my reality is so different than a lot of the dudes that she claims that she has tricked. That our minds are just not on the same wavelength. We don't think the same. So maybe that's all that they need. And then they're also not getting viscosity, but then they're giving you money. I don't see how that is possible. But you brought it up because it's something that is important to you. You understand what I'm saying? But notice how quickly that she moved off of it. Because you know why? She doesn't want that comparison to the word that you guys are going to guess down into the description box down below. You understand what I'm saying? Woo! She needs some healing. Where does her mindset even come from? Wow. All right, let's go on.
Women who know how to spend their money. Okay? So let me repeat that. Men like women who know how to spend their money.
What?
So there's the girl I take out to eat, and she's trying to spare me and not look like she's a gold digger and order a salad and a couple of things and not really eat. No, baby. This is the spot you're supposed to splurge. I'm gonna order that, and I'm gonna order to go, and I'm gonna tell him, yo, my mom's at the crib too, and I think she might want a little a little steak too. I ain't gonna get whatever you want. My mother taught me something.
What does it have to do with know how to spend his money? Unless she's saying act like you don't want to spend his money, so then he can offer to spend it for you. Is that what you're saying? Because besides that, I have no idea what you're talking about. None.
How you
Wait,
can't go
say?
home. My mother taught me something. How you can't go home hungry and your pocket's empty. You understand what I'm saying? I remember coming into my house one night and my mother said to me, I said, I'm in her refrigerator, and she said, why are you in my refrigerator? You just came from a date with a guy. He didn't feed you? How your pussy wet and your stomach empty?
Oh.
You understand?
Oh. I'm laughing, but it's so sad. Ding, 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 ding. We got it. We understand where it comes from. Her mother. Wow. Wow. You come home and your viscosity's wet and your stomach's empty. Wow. This is why I get a pit in my stomach, because it highlights to me that there's so much work to do. There's so much work to do, and it's not something that I'm saying that like every man has to put the weight of the BS on their back to try to fix things like this that we see in our culture. That's not what I'm saying. I do think that there's some that are too far gone in the effort in order to fix them. You know, you just gotta wait to the generation with that negative mindset just dies off. You understand? But at the same time, this highlights the negatives of just where the culture has fallen into in the mindsets of the young women that are being raised with people that teach things like that, and then they take it as gospel. They take it to heart. No wonder she thinks like this. No wonder. She was raised in a household with a mother that has that type of mentality. Notice she didn't say her father said that. I wonder why. That's not something a father would and should ever say to his daughter. But to know that her mother instructed, her mother should be ashamed of herself. I am ashamed of her mother. I am tired of the story being replicated from decade to decade, because it does so much more to break us apart than to put us back together. It does so much more. That's why I think that it's so important that we review videos like this, because take all the generalizations out of it, because it's hard to come to solutions if we just talk about generalizations and then there's folks that become the all police. No, but this is a specific story. This is a specific story of a young woman who was dictating how to extract resources from a man. But the mindset which was generated from a family member who birthed her this issue is deep. This is deep. This is deep. Holy moly. Woo! Sheesh. Let's move on.
You know what I'm saying? So after that, I tested the waters. I have never let a man take me home without feeding me. I don't give a fuck if I'm not hungry and I'm throwing that shit in the fucking trash.
Oh my God.
Feed me, because it's gonna tell me what's next. If I say I'm hungry and he says, yo, I'm in a rush, I can't feed you right now, yo, you can't, and just drops me off, he's not really that interested. But the man that, he may be in a rush and says, listen, I don't have time to drop you, take you to go and get some paper, get yourself something to eat, whatever. Now we got Uber Eats, it's 2020. He's gonna make sure you eat and drop you off.
There's a hold on. She has a minor point there. I to a degree, there's a sense of entitlement there, and the entitlement comes from what she just said is that if you go on a date with somebody and then he doesn't put food in your stomach, that means that he's not into you, right? So there's a, because I am who I am and you are a man, I deserve to have food put into my stomach. And if I don't have food put into my stomach, then you are not interested in me. There's not like here's who I am, but here's who I bring to the table to prove to you that this is why you should be a provider, a protector. None of that. There's not a realistic, there's not a standard that she's making based off of the value that she brings. It's simply I'm a woman and therefore I'm queen. I'm on a date with a man. If he doesn't provide a meal for me, he doesn't give me this meal ticket, even if I'm not hungry, right? Even if it doesn't even if she told me that she ate before we got up on the date, but if I don't offer this to her, then all of a sudden he's not interested. I mean, and fact of the matter is, I've been out in situations with just meeting young women, and we just go out to coffee because it's an interview. I'm just trying to get to know you. When we go on to the later parts, you know what I'm saying? If there's a step 2, step 3, and I'm actually interested in you, and I just don't try to get you back to the crib on the second and the third, date or what have you. You understand what I'm saying? Then that's something that I will take on, because because if I feel you are of value and I'm seeing through your actions that you are worthy of that, then I can rise to the occasion. You understand what I'm saying? But the entitlement is real here, and it's not baked in reality, but it is what it is. Sheesh, there's so much to talk about.
A man that does not feed you, he doesn't even deserve your conversation. So we're on number 4.
Now we're going to number 5.
Now we're going to number 5.
She's a little
Damn, I
late.
can keep going because there's so many ways.
Hold on, let me. She's also been drinking. I just didn't see this. There's actually a cup in her hand. Maybe you didn't see it because my picture is over across it. So we can give her no leniency. Let's keep going. What am I talking about?
And this is without giving up the coochie. You understand what I'm saying?
Yo, and y'all be wondering why so many times I say, you understand what I'm saying? It's a New York thing. Sorry. Get over it.
I just want to talk from experience. One of my ways, when I am in that mode and I'm like, I just want the money, find common interest. Find a common ground. You may not have an auntie in Ohio, but if he's telling you that his family's from Cleveland and they play basketball and they do this, go start looking up some basketball players. Go start looking up the city. Go start looking up some landmarks, some things that you guys can have mutual conversations about. Men have to be comfortable to spend their money. Make it easy for them, ladies. Always be on your best dressed, your best behavior.
So remedial.
Men like that boss talk too. Again.
So what essentially she's just said right there is have common interests, and so to make people feel comfortable. Okay. Thanks. Nuggets she's dropping.
There's levels to get in the bag. So depends on what level you are. Because a girl that's going for 8 figures, I'm exaggerating, 6 figures.
Hyperbole.
She's gonna have a conversation about business the entire date.
What?
Whether it's her business or his business,
No.
the entire date is about business. It's about what
You're wrong, Miss Masculine. You're wrong. God, there's so much wrong here. I should have live streamed this in order to have you guys see this. Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, we do live streams. Anyway, what she's essentially saying here is that a woman who is trying to go after a dude who makes over 6 figures is going to be talking about all the businesses that she's trying to create and all the men don't find what you're trying to build as attractive. That's not even good advice. You know what it is? Like men will respect you off of what it is that you're doing for yourself. If it, as a dude, if I'm over here having a conversation with a young woman and she's just nothing but loving hip hop, she's on her phone, right? Like her head's up in the clouds, like, right? She's talking about this drama, that's one thing, and she's gonna be left in the dust. But if she says that, like, listen, here's my payers, here's who I was, here's where I'm going, but then it begins to start to speak about her interests, like, it's a much different conversation besides like, oh, I'm a boss, this is what I'm trying to like, I think dudes who are acting high value and see that you're doing high value type things from a fiduciary perspective might get attracted to that because they're not really high value, but true high value dudes don't care about the accomplishments. So I say that to say this, you're not giving really good advice. Okay, let's get back in there.
You're trying to do, where you're trying to go. I don't want to hear your boyfriend broke your heart. I don't care about the last nigga that cheated on you.
True.
I don't care that I have the same car as somebody you used to know. Yeah. I don't want to hear about that. Girls are having the wrong conversations, and that's why he's not calling you back. Or that's why you're the girl who you're wondering why he's not flying you out, and this other girl he's flying out, and she ain't giving it up, but you already let him hit it. You gotta protect your queen down there, ladies.
Oh, now it's a queen.
Men like a chase. They are animals, and I'm not calling them animals in a disrespectful way. They are animals in the sense, like in the jungle, tigers, lions, and bears. They are animals. Oh. They feed on.
Is that why the girl in the other video brought up the line? But she said hyenas, tigers, and bear or something like that. This must have been earlier in the conversation. So she's okay. I see now.
On the chase, the bear goes to the water. He sits there quietly. He waits for the fish that doesn't see him coming.
Men are hunters, yeah, sure.
Same way men are with women. The lion, he sits back. He behind the bushes. The hyenas are running. They're going crazy. The hyenas is the girls who don't leave with the bag. They going crazy. They running around in the jungle. You understand what I'm saying? They not focused. While me, I'm a tiger. I'm gonna sit back in the bushes, real quiet, watch everybody go by, and I'm gonna take down the elephant. Okay. You heard? I'm gonna take down the giraffe.
Okay, whatever. All right. So that's the end of the video. Here's my final thoughts. What she's talking about is how to extract money from a man, how to extract money from a dude, and what she said is that she's gonna be waiting in the bushes, she's gonna be calculating, she enacts strategy in order to be able to do that. That's her goal, so that's what she's trying to do. And fact of the matter is I think that those that she's trying to convince are not truly high value. But hey, listen, mama, if it works for you, it works for you. I said in the last video, I'll say that again. However, it's clear to me that there's so much torment within her life, in the way that she was raised, the information that has been bestowed upon her, and how she takes that and she sums all that up and then creates these ways of being able to do that through whatever lifestyle that she currently lives. Listen, there's rich people that commit suicide too, and the rates of rich committing suicide is statistically not different than the rates of middle income and poor people committing suicide. All of your issues are not going to be fixed once you get the bag. It will not be. At the end of the day, it's her tips. Young ladies, I think if what you want to do is to secure the bag, then yeah, go and study up on the dark arts. But for those of you who want to rely in their femininity, who want to rely in their peace that they can give a man, the energy that they can pour into a man, right? If they're going across these relationships in a way more of a value-added perspective, that you're able to give these different things, to be in cahoots for a man to assess your value through your actions and to incorporate you in his life, don't listen to her. Don't listen to her. That has been my video. That has been my reaction. We got a far way to go. We got a far way to go. There's a lot of healing that needs to be done. I got a Patreon as well. Feel free to join me up at the Patreon if you guys are interested to being involved in the high value inner circle. A lot up there. That's in store. Until next time, YouTube. Peace!
Hood booger, hood booger, hood booger, goodbye. Hood booger, hood booger, hood booger, goodbye.